Yes, it is there. David therefore departed and escaped to the cave of Adullam. So it's a place of nurturing. It's a place of training. It's a place of building. Training is not always a joke. Training is not a joke. In short, many don't survive trainings. How many of you have watched this new film that was on Netflix for a long time? Machine. Is it Machine? War Machine. Did you watch the Marine training? Do you see how many of them were being dropped? Training is not for everybody. It's not for children. You must have tenacity to stand training. We run out immediately we hear the speakings of God. The Bible said the vision is for an appointed time. There is an appointed time. The Bible said about John the Baptist, he was in the wilderness till the hour of his showing. There is an hour of showing. You don't run out immediately. Some of you never done iyebe. In Igbo land, it's called iyebe. You're cooking beans. Beans never done. You want chop them. You just put beans 10 minutes. You know how terrible the test will. Iyebe. God has not cooked you enough. Fire is still in your tent. With the small fire. Then you now start experiencing frustrations. There is what is called the dawning. That's what is called gestation period. You don't deliver a child at 6 months. You must wait. He said he makes all things beautiful in his time. There is a time of manifestation. There is a time of release. If you run out before your time, you will fujolanya because you will be put back into what they call in medicine incubator. When you come out before your time, they will take you back into an incubator and keep you to your time reaches of maturity. If not, you will not stand the atmosphere. The belly, the environment of the belly and the worldly environment is not the same. You will die early. So you must learn how to wait. Cave of Adullam, place of maturity and training. That's the problem we're having. Our parties are now doing primaries. How many have we released to go and represent the church in election? How many people have been cooked to become governmental candidates that will see money and not be moved by it? That will not bow to the image that everybody is bound down to. Every man represented there as a Christian came from a church. But were they cooked enough to go and represent us? That's why a Daniel can be sent and Daniel will not shake. Even a lion cannot be a torment to him. Because when you get there, your survival technique is your habit. When they told him that he should not pray, he laughed. He said, "What keeps me alive?" The Bible said the next day he opened the curtain. The same thing with Daniel, the same thing with Joseph. So Camp David is a place of training. See, if you read the stories, it's so crazy that not just that David raised men, he raised men that were like him. Because the men he raised also killed giants. Do you know that David's boys killed 5 of Goliath's brothers who were more giant than him? Goliath had 5 other giant brothers. It wasn't him that killed them. When he killed them, they vowed they would kill him. It was his boys that killed them. The boys said, do you know that also David's boys killed lions? David is not the only man that is a lion killer. He also raised lion killers. Lion killers like David are raised in Camp David. Men that will replicate the same grace the man carries is in Camp David. There are things that are not said in main meetings, said in this meeting. And there are transfer of virtues that don't come on normal meetings. So Camp David is a place of nurture. I had to do an investigation and I discovered he started giving names. One of them killed 300 men at once. You think it's only Jet Li that does it in film? There are Jet Lis in the Bible. The problem is that you're not watching the Bible, you're reading the Bible. You don't know series on a Bible. Series is a canko. Mighty Men of David is a series. Horus season 7. One man killed 300 men at once. 2 Samuel 23 verse 8. These are the mighty men of David. He now called his name. He said he was the chief amongst the captains. He said he lifted up his spear against 800 men and killed them at once. As an Iswaswa, how was 800 men? Elekumbe isala tomberakadiz. One man. You think it's only Jet Li that will do and the mother will share. One Jet Li in my Bible. The problem is that you're not watching the Bible, you're reading the Bible. Paul was a teacher of the word. His way he secluded to Arabia, stayed 3.5 years. He came back an apostle. There are Arabian deserts where men are cooked. And one of them in this house is Camp David. You can't sit Camp David 6 months and not carry fire and not carry wisdom of the ancients. You can't. I served Pastor Jalat 2 years. I didn't miss one meeting. Not even sickness could stop me. No one meeting. That's why when I left him, I left with something. I collected grace, came into a city, I don't know anybody. I used are being drawn. I collected this grace from Apostle Selman and from Pastor Jalat. This grace you see that draws young people, I collected it from Pastor Jalat. I served him 2 years, no salary. I was with him daily. Do you know, I was studying about David and it shocked me. Do you know that Saul so planned to kill David that he was so envious of why the people will say Saul has killed his thousands, David has killed tens of thousands. The Bible said David behaved himself wisely. Then he now set up men to go and meet David and said, the king loves you. He wants to give you his daughter. Because anyone that kills Goliath will be given the daughter of the king. 1, 2, his family will be exonerated from paying tax. 3, there are other things that will go with it. But Saul wanted to kill him. But he knew the hand of God was with him. So he didn't want to be the one to kill him. He wanted to set him up to be killed. There are some friends like that. They won't be the one to do it. They set you up for another one to do it. But how they're doing. So they are part of the doings. So he didn't want to kill him, but he wanted to. So he now told them, the king does not desire what they call it. What they call this thing you give for bride when you want to marry bride. Bride price. So what the king desire is the first king of 100 Philistines. First king means, let's not interpret. Leave it. Go and research. I don't know how we say it. Lecumbre iscovalato barada. Let the Holy Ghost interpret. I've said it. But let me explain. When you circumcise a male child, that part that is cut out is foreskin. That means you kill them and you start circumcising each and every one of them and bring it. He wanted 100. David went and brought 200. That's how you know men. When God gives you men, you say, get me 10 people, they bring 20. No excuse. You see, men that give excuses, they are not yet trained. How can you do it? I will never forget when Pastor Jala said, we are going to buy a tent, 1.5 million. He said every cell produced 25,000. The next week, it didn't reach 2 days. I was the first to bring the 25,000. I called one of my uncles and said, we need 25,000 to buy tents. Give it to him. He sent it to me. I carried and went and gave Pastor. I said, Pastor, just see the money for it. He looked at me and shook himself. I said, this boy. The Bible said, David said, I desire a cup of water from the wells of Jerusalem. The Bible said there were a garrison. Garrison means 1,000 soldiers guiding the wells. 3 of them had it. He didn't say, get me water. He said, I desire. He said 3 men broke into the garrison with swords. They were fighting. Back. Have you watched 3 Musketeers? They were fighting and broke into 1,000 men. 3 men. Because their Oga said he won. He didn't say go. He said, I desire. They broke it and fought. 1, 2 were fighting. 1 was drawing water. As he drew water, he now held it with his sword. And they fought out and came back with blood all over them. They were not killed. And said, sir, the water you asked for. He took it and said, God forbid. He said this. He took it and poured it to God as an offering. That's what Camp David does to men. God is able to turn the world. I will turn the world with the fire of God.
As the Father is a He that is able to calm the war.
Now see 2 Samuel 23, 9 to 10. I'll read 9 to 12. I want you to see men before I go. I wanted to charge you up before I go into the teaching so that when I will give you instructions, you run with it. This is how God blesses men. He said, he wrote, he said, and verse, he said, and after him was Eliezer, the son of Dodo, the Ahohites. One of the three mighty men of David. He said, see, there are three. He said, when they defied the Philistines, they were there gathered together to battle. And the men of Israel was gone away. Now look at verse 10. Verse 10. He said, he arose, and stood the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand cleaved to the sword. Or could get the sword, I can't turn a sword. The sword married his hand, defending a land. Wrote a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to meet spoil. Others ran away. He stood his ground. See, man. 11, because I'm 11. And after he was Shammah, the son of Agi, the Hararites, Alpha, in the right and night and white. And the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where there was a piece of land full of lilies, and the Philistines fled from, and the people fled from the Philistines. Number above is here, and he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. Now, not for men. 13, and three of the 30 chiefs went down and came to David, and let me not continue. See, in